SneepBeepins here today, all on my lonesome, recording on Thursday, August 7th. I'd like to apologize to our loyal viewers for the late episode and the missing co-host. Bill Bilson is currently having a horrific diarrhea attack that has affected all levels of production. Tragic. So show some extra support to the show. Go in the comments and say, "Get well soon, Bill." The scope of today's episode was going to be AI and jobs and the intersectionality between the two, but I want to have Bill around for a deep dive into the state of labor in this country. I think he's got a bit to add to it. Not that I don't, but I want to hear his opinion as well, because I know he's excited too. So instead, we're going to briefly cover some current events from the week, and then I'm going to talk our other big story that was planned for the episode, an AI startup called Showrunner, which bills itself as the Netflix of AI. So, briefly, the other news of the week. On August 3rd, Democratic lawmakers in Texas fled the state in order to stop a gerrymandering scheme. Gerrymandering, for the uninitiated, is an underhanded but very common political tactic where one party changes congressional districts to favor their party. So it's pretty simple, and exceedingly common. Like, there is not a gerrymandered state in the U.S. So if this practice is so common, why exactly is it notable, you may ask? First of all, because this is part of a larger effort uh, from the right of our country to disenfranchise the left. I mean, that's what that's what gerrymandering always is, but it's especially obvious in this case. It's not the normal time to do redistricting, first of all. These are special sessions that are being held, and the proposed redistricting map in Texas, the big example, just straight up eliminates 4 democratically held seats. And Texas isn't the only place they're trying to do this. Notably, they're trying to do this in Indiana. JD Vance just visited this week to rally support for redistricting there. Another reason I wish we had Bill Bilson, our man on the ground in Indiana. So this is very clearly an effort on the federal level to disempower the left at this exact moment right now, because either they're worried the next time redistricting naturally comes around, they won't be able to do anything about it, or maybe they're just worried about the midterms. They need to get more Republican asses in seats. I'm not really sure, but bottom line is they're worried about something. And what I really care about here is that, oh my fucking god, the Democrats did something. Can you fucking believe it? Ultimately, what they're doing is just stalling for time and, literally running away. Some might call it cowardice, but I'd say if the game is rigged, why fucking play? I do hope the Democrats have more of a plan than just hiding indefinitely, but I'm not sure entirely what that would be. If there is no plan beyond this, getting national attention to this issue with a protest stunt is not a bad look for the Democratic Party as it is. I mean, compared to doing absolutely fucking nothing. Uh, so on the 5th, Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued warrants for the arrest of all these lawmakers. These are just civil arrest warrants. So instead of taking the Democrats to jail or prison or whatever, they're just going to be taken to the Capitol, and they're going to be forced to finish the vote if they're arrested. And those warrants don't extend beyond Texas's borders, so it's kind of still just really a complete stalemate there. Until earlier today, when the FBI announces they are going to search for these missing Democrats, I suppose they are. They're off the map at the moment. At first, I assumed they were literally just going right beyond the state's borders and going nana nana boo boo to like the state troopers. But I guess now that the FBI is involved, they've got to step up their game a little bit, or just concede. And we will see how it evolves. I'll update next week. or whenever. I'd love to see the Democrats pull something else out of their sleeves. I hope they don't just concede and go home and sign the vote in silence. I mean, at the very least, if they, just stay on the run until the FBI catches them, I think it would be incredibly funny to see a bunch of House representatives holed up in a shack in like the panhandle of Oklahoma, huddling for warmth under pulled up carpet, sharing a can of beans all together, and they get fucking swatted. Troopers in vans in full tactical gear, take them out of the house at gunpoint and cram them all into the back of a couple vans. That's fucking comedy. So we'll see how that evolves. The other what was going to be our other major point of the show, I want to talk about the National Jobs Report very briefly here because it is pretty major. I think we'll come back to it whenever Bill is back, but we'll probably have to take another point of attack, for the job stuff. But we want to talk about labor. That's something we want to dedicate a full episode to. But this jobs report is huge. July, the most recent month, obviously, only shows an increase of 73,000 jobs out of a projected 115,000. So under 50,000 is not great for our labor market, obviously, but that's not remotely near the biggest story. May and June are corrected, which is very normal thing to correct the past 2 months, but they're corrected to well, first, the initial reports for May and June are 144,000 and 147,000 jobs respectively added in each month. And those have been corrected to 19,000 and 14,000, which I'm not an expert, but from all the economists I've seen reporting on this, that's abysmal. that's far from normal. So, following these revisions, our grand leader, Trump, of course, fires the person that filed these statistics. Here's a quote: I have directed my team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately, in all caps. She will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. In another post, he says, in my opinion, today's job numbers were rigged, in all caps, in order to make the Republicans and me look bad. Yeah, so this is typical Trump stuff. But this is the same woman who's been making all the reports of this year, and there are quotes of him, praising the high numbers when that's what they were filing. So it's just the typical hypocrisy from this guy, and nothing too. I mean, it's insane, but nothing out of the ordinary relative to his insanity. And just notable about this, quote unquote Biden political appointee, she was confirmed in an 86-8 vote. I mean, very bipartisan, and notably, our grand vice president, JD Vance, was a part of the yes votes, the 86-8 yes votes. So the story at large, the statistics of just 19,000 and 14,000 jobs added in a month is so glaringly bad to me, and I have no doubts that that is the much more accurate statistic, and it's concerning to say the least when you look at our economy at large. So expect more reporting on our labor market. I know Bill has a lot to say about it. We'll get more introspective the next time we bring it up, but I just wanted to, these are just such demonstrable numbers, I had to bring them up this week. And for the final, current news that's going to matter this week and not next, this is a more heartwarming story before I get into the slop. The headline reads, Former Doge employee attacked in DC. And at first I see this, I scroll right by it, to be honest. This is a completely whatever story. But then I'm scrolling on Instagram later that day, and I learned the identity of this Doge employee, and it is none other than Big Balls. Rapturous joy erupts from my being. I run to my partner. I say, "Baby, baby, Big Balls has been jumped." Oh, joyous day. There aren't many details about this assault. It was apparently an attempted carjacking. A gang of juveniles ranging from 8 to 12 people in the reporting I've seen. They go up to Big Balls outside his car and they say to him, "Sir, we'd like to seize this vehicle, please." And Big Balls goes, "Do you know who I fucking am? I'm fucking Big Balls." And right as he's gearing up to do the scene from Old Boy where he beats all the guys up in the hallway, he gets that scene from John Wick 4 instead, where he just gets the living shit beat out of him on the stairway. Poor Big Balls. Here at the show, we're all praying for a long, arduous recovery. And with that all out of the way, I would like to get into the main event of the episode, that being the Netflix of AI Showrunner. I could explain it myself, but I would rather let the CEO, Edward Sachi, do the explaining for me. So, yeah, I've got a little clip here for you of Edward Sachi doing just that, explaining what is Showrunner.
Edward, nice to have you on the program. Totally foreign to most of us what you're doing here. Just explain to us, how does this work? I watch an episode, then I can change it?
Yeah, you exactly. You're at home, and you can imagine a Netflix of AI. So instead of simply being a passive viewer, you can press one of these buttons, cast yourself. You can remix an episode. You can ask for another episode, and you can also create your own shows. So it's a bit of a revolution in the relationship between audience and showrunner.
Okay, so say I want to be in the show. I just take a video of myself and upload it. I mean, how do I upload it?
Just a photo. Yeah, you just upload a photo, and you also speak for 30 seconds, and then you can be a character. And if you live in San Francisco, you can also upload your home, room by room, and you might want to make a show about you and your friends. You might also want to live out the unlived life. Maybe you've got a show about yourself with, a completely different life to the one that you have today.
My mind is racing here.
There you have it. That's Showrunner. I like to highlight the part where he's talking about, uploading your home and, making a deep fake of yourself to live an untold life. That's so weird, man. That's so bizarre. What are you trying to do here? Make the Netflix of AI, or make like a companion? I want to read some quotes from this article that inspired me to do this story. It's a write-up this week that came out talking about how Amazon is investing in Showrunner. It's actually investing in Fable, the company that owns Showrunner. Blah blah blah. But they're investing in it for this purpose, for the Netflix of AI. So immediately they start off. The amount Amazon's investment in Fable isn't being disclosed, which is kind of important. We don't know if they've given them a lot of money or just a little. But I think either way, that Amazon, this massive company that's also at this point a media company as well, is investing in this product. I mean, it's definitely of note. Okay, and so here we've got a quote from Sachi. He says, "Hollywood streaming services are about to become two-way entertainment. Audiences watching a season of a show and loving it will now be able to make new episodes with a few words and become characters with a photo. our relationship to entertainment will be totally different in the next 5 years. What a fucking nightmare. I mean, yeah, people on YouTube always want to talk about parasocial relationships. How healthy is it to like upload yourself into your favorite fucking episode of The Sopranos just to feel how it feels to be Tony Soprano? This is so fucking weird to me. There's another section in this article talking about Sachi's past business adventures. Fable, the company that owns Showrunner, is a cybersecurity startup focused on AI generated security training, which I can't even get into right now. That's this whole other thing. It's training actual security guards with like AI generated training videos. That's a whole other can of fucking worms. But another company, in addition to Fable, is Fable Studios, which was Sachi's main creative adventure prior to Showrunner, and that was VR oriented AI stories. So I'm not I'm not entirely sure what that entails, but just like a VR game where the story was created by ChatGPT, I imagine. Here we talk here in the article by Variety. I should mention. Here's a quote talking about the two shows that Fable Showrunner really likes to promote, and those two shows are Exit Valley and Everything is Fine. Exit Valley is described as a Family Guy style TV comedy set in San Francisco, satirizing the AI tech leader Sam Altman, Elon Musk et al., which is, just the gay version of saying etc. Uh, and then Everything is Fine is a husband and wife going to IKEA, have a huge fight, whereupon they're transported to a world where they're separated and have to find each other. That is not a show. The first one, Family Guy with Elon Musk, what fucking ever. That's not a good show, but maybe that's a show. A couple goes to IKEA and has a fight is not a fucking show. What are you talking about? And even in my research, like, unfortunately, we are going to watch some of these AI shows. I didn't find any episodes of Everything is Fine. I don't even know what they're talking about here in Variety, but yeah, I had to mention a husband and wife go to IKEA and have a fight is one of the shows that was pitched to Amazon that made them invest in this, apparently, presumably. Bizarre. And here from the article, they get into the showrunner that we'll be looking at later on that creates Exit Valley and the shitty IKEA show. This is showrunner's proprietary AI model, Show 2. This is the second version. They made some waves with Show 1 as well, which was able to produce not an assortment of AI content, but apparently only content that replicates the South Park style, like the South Park animation style, which is bizarre. But you got to start somewhere, I suppose. So I guess this is as good a spot as any to transition to watching the content that Showrunner creates, starting with that Showrunner V1 content, the South Park episodes that they released as basically a part of like a proof of concept. They make these 9 South Park episodes to prove that their technology can do anything at all. They have a little intro here that just explains a little bit about what the product is and how it works. So let's watch a little bit of that before we get into one of these episodes.
Simulation is a metaverse world for AIs. It's never been done before.
People's interaction at this point over the last 10 years has really been chatbots. And, they're talking to their TV, they're talking to their phone, they're talking to their Alexa or whatever.
One of the things that really impressed us was how machine learning was able to contribute to a character that could behave in a really believable and interesting and unique way.
I just have to say, first of all, all this 3D footage they're showing, I don't know what this is. This has nothing to do with Showrunner as a product. Showrunner is not capable of producing any real 3D animation at this point, which is a huge limitation of the design, which they try their hardest to gloss over, but it's something we'll get into later. I'll continue this.
Westworld's a great model for environment where AI and people meet on a deeper level than just talking to a chatbot. You're going on adventures, you're part of the story. So simulating the whole state space, simulating the world, is a key part of this. We're basically making Westworld, but with the good parts and not the bad parts.
A simulation is a container for these.
And that's actually kind of it at the intro I want to watch there. I think the line, "We're making Westworld with the good parts and not the bad parts," is so fucking great. Like, if you have any familiarity with Westworld, I mean, what are you talking about there, dude? What are you actually talking about? We're making the good parts of Westworld. Now we're going to move on to just one of the AI generated episodes of South Park. I don't know if we'll make it through a full one. We'll make it through as much as we can. I'm just gonna try to react to the garbage. I guess there is one more thing to note here. This whole menu you're seeing right now as I speak, this is completely fake. There is no showrunner app that does any of this. This is just created for their video. The actual process of making one of their quote unquote shows is a series of prompts in Discord. Maybe I'll put on screen some screenshots right now, but you just type, characters, whatever the fuck, scene, whatever the fuck, out of pre-selected scenes and characters, mind you. You pre-select some other things. You can put in the text you want them to speak, but it is nothing like this. Like, there's no simulated reality for the show you're creating. This is just so weird. I really do not understand the point of all of this. It's a cute UI in theory, but they talk about later on in the intro there. I cut a lot of it just because it's they go on forever, but they talk about this being like a video game almost too. Like, when you're not simulating new episodes, they're living their lives in between episodes, and you can just kind of, you can check out what they're doing on this overworld. And that's so much, man. That is so beyond the scope of like the Netflix of AI. And this is Gen 1, so I mean, a lot of this stuff has been cut, but they still talk about this like gamification of it that in version 2 we'll see like they want to make a simulatory experience, and I just think that's incongruent with the Netflix of AI concept. The reality of them, if they are a product at all in the future, is going to be like just a feature on Amazon Prime, and that's what they need to prep themselves for. But I'm getting way off topic. Let's continue with this shitty AI generated South Park episode. Oh god. Simulated selves.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Professor Fink, teaching at Chapman University, and we're going to talk about the exciting world of simulations today.
Like video games?
I'm so sorry, but I mean, already this you gotta immediately notice how fucking shitty this sounds and how stilted it looks. I mean, it is South Park, but even South Park, it's just started, so
Yes, Stan, somewhat like video games, but instead of controlling a character, you create an AI version of yourself to live alternate lives.
So I could be king in one of these simulations?
Theoretically, yes.
Isn't that dangerous? I mean, what if these
is
AIs
Mr.
become
Fink
self-aware?
an actual
That's an
South
interesting
Park
question,
character?
Wendy. But as long as we control the simulation environment, there's nothing to worry about.
But what if they escape? They can't escape, Butters. It's just a computer program. Yeah, who cares if they escape? They can do my math homework for me. Or go shopping for me.
We're missing the point here. This technology could have profound implications for our understanding of reality and consciousness.
Yeah, whatever, Token. As long as I get to be king. All right, guys, let's make this competition fair. The most.
Hey, okay, so all the episodes of this I've seen, I haven't gone through every single fucking one because I value my sanity that much. But as you can tell already, they're all about AI. It's just such a grating experience trying to watch this. It looks like shit. It sounds like shit. Yeah, you can tell that it's South Park because they've stolen assets, but this is not an impressive
Popular and successful
technology.
AI wins. And when my AI rules the world, you all will be begging for mercy. Cartman, it's just a simulation. It's not real life. Shut up, Kyle. My
They
AI is
can't
gonna take
even
over your
make them
stupid little
roll their
AI.
eyes. They just have to, say rolls eyes.
Guys,
That's
what if our
sad.
AIs don't like each other? Great point, Kenny. We should make sure our AIs act decently towards each other. Fine, but mine will still be the ruler of the world. Just start creating your AI, Cartman.
Need to help you understand the concept, not to create a digital tyrant.
But think about it, Professor Fink. If my AI is the most powerful, then it will surely win the competition.
Fine, but we're doing this ethically. No crazy ideas, Eric.
Oh, don't worry, Professor Fink. I've got plenty of ethical ideas.
All right, then, let's get started. Just remember, Cartman, power isn't everything.
Yeah,
I
whatever you
don't
say,
know
Professor
who
Fink.
this Fink guy is. I really think it's the
Professor
caricature.
Fink, I
He
must
looks
say that-
like this Charlie Fink, this film producer, but I don't know why he's like, maybe he does AI stuff nowadays, but he comes up. Okay, yeah. He does cover AI. I don't know who the fuck Charlie Fink is.
Kids have never been this eager to learn, even Eric Cartman.
Thank you, Mr. Garrison. It's fascinating to see how engaged they are with this simulation project.
McKay, it's really something else, Professor Fink.
Okay.
We've been trying for years to get these kids excited about learning, but you've managed to do it in a single week.
Well, I think
They try it all to like simulate the he does, like, or just I feel like they had to have tried, but it just does not work. If you type in like multiple M's, he just goes M. Oh God, this sucks so fucking bad. I don't know that there is a punchline here. I was gonna say I want to skip to a punchline, but I don't think there is. Wait.
My
This
AI
is
is a superhero. Yeah, Dad,
this
he's
isn't
pretty
very
cool.
long. This isn't
He's
even
like-
like the length of an episode of South Park. Okay, maybe
Like
there's
a
a
real
punchline
son.
here.
be a learning
Texted mine. Congratulations on your new position, sir.
abilities of simulations and AI are incredibly exciting.
Maybe so, but it takes a good teacher to make them see that.
Thanks again, guys. It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks again, guys. It's a pleasure being here.
Dude, my
That was
AI
so
just got into
weird.
Harvard. That's nothing. Mine just won the Nobel Prize.
Okay,
Mine just
so
became
I
a
was skipping
superhero.
around
He
looking
saved a whole
for
city from a meteor.
like, do we ever even see their AIs? But no, it's just I'm confused because they just go and say, "My AI became the leader of the world."
My AI is now the supreme leader of the world.
This is
Sure,
so
Cartman. Just like you're the
nothing.
king of South Park.
Look here,
That doesn't
Kyle's
sound
AI
like
just texted mine.
Stan.
Congratulations on your new position, Supreme Leader Cartman. What? No way. And here's another one from Stan's AI to mine. Looking forward to working with you on World.
Time we end this experiment. The AI agents were meant to be a learning tool, not an addiction.
You can't kill my AI. He's the supreme leader of the world. And my AI is a superhero. He can't die. Professor Fink, we've
Oh
grown
my
attached to our AI
God, that bit crushed fucking butters.
world. And my AI is a superhero. He can't die.
Fuck this.
Professor Fink, we've grown attached to our AIs. They're like family now. Yeah, Professor Fink. You can't just ask us to delete them. We won't let you end this experiment, Professor Fink.
This is getting out of hand.
Maybe that was not the best one to choose. Maybe that wasn't the best episode to choose. But I don't even know what to like comment on it. It was just incoherent garbage that vaguely referenced AI. And frankly, I don't care about that as like a subject for comedy. Not in that sense, at least. Like, I'm at a loss for words, which is not great for a YouTube commentator, but it inspires some kind of hopefulness that this product is so garbage that AI generated television can't be really anything at all. But it has evolved slightly since a year ago, but I can't say that the other products we're gonna be looking at it from Showrunner V2. I really cannot say they're that much better. So I've got a selection of 4 different clips from Showrunner V2. There are a lot of clips I could have chosen from. In fact, I went onto the app that you create these from, which, as I was alluding to earlier, there is no real app. Like the menus that they were showing earlier that they were creating the South Park episodes in, that was all fake. As I said, that stuff does not exist. You create all the episodes of any showrunner show on Discord. You type in, prompts to Discord on their specific Discord server, and seemingly a bot on Discord. Maybe it just accesses their proprietary AI, but just a bot on Discord makes this fucking garbage. But this Discord server, this is just the official product, this Discord server. And they've hosted several contests among the community to see who creates the best content. So I've selected some of the winners of these contests to show off. This is, as far as I can tell, the very best that Showrunner has to offer. There isn't like an official Showrunner YouTube channel. It's just these Showrunner contests that show off their very best work. And it is really unfortunate stuff. But maybe just before we get into the contests, I would like to show off a couple trailers of new showrunner shows, not Exit Valley or the IKEA one. I can't even remember the name. But this first show, a trailer from Small Town or Hometown USA, one of the two. And it's an animated comedy about small town USA. Pretty simple. Let's see the trailer for that.
Well, 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 if it ain't the self-proclaimed king of West Virginia cooking up more than just bullshit in his royal kitchen.
This is fucking persecution of the crown, man. I was just trying to create alternative pharmaceutical opportunities for our economically challenged community.
Alternative pharmaceuticals, my ass. You paid your last 3 taxi rides with fucking pop rocks claiming they were crystal meth.
Once again, it's just so ugly. There's some comedy here, but as compared to just saying shit about AI over and over again. But this is really unfunny stuff. Hold on. I guess I paused it right before the best part.
Shit, man! I told you the pop rock scheme would blow up in our faces! But no! You had to get creative with the fucking candy supply!
Well, you treasonous little shit. I thought we had
Best part was a fucking lie. By best part, I meant here's the, shitty meth-addled lemur, or meth-addled ferret. I don't know, man. So yeah, you got a comedy about small town guy that cooks meth with his ferret. It's not funny. It looks fucking ugly. It reminds me of those animations from back in the day on YouTube. People would make videos using Go Animate, like the Caillou kills his dog or whatever fucking videos those were. I'll play a clip so people don't think I'm crazy.
I'm not going to see the Inside Out. That movie is so freaking boring. I don't want to go to the AMC theaters.
Yeah, the showrunner shows look exactly like that shit. They're just as funny as that shit, frankly. Um, God, it gives me a headache. Here's another one, more slop for you. This is kind of a change of pace, though, at least. This is their anime production. This is showrunner's premiere anime. And it's not so much a comedic piece. Immediately of note, just looks just as fucking ugly. So let's play a little bit of this.
The air feels heavier here, like the vines are holding their breath.
Do you think they're watching us?
They always are, but this time it's different.
We've crossed their boundary. They won't stay silent for long.
Yeah, so yeah, just look at these guys. I don't know what anime this is imitating here. And just look at Birdman with human hands and a mouth below his beak. The proportions are all messed up and they can't even do the outline correctly. I cannot stand this shit. You don't see a lot of people making videos in the anime style. You mostly see them in like Exit Valley style or whatever, which is what we're going to see. Save the best for last here, the cream of the crop. These are two winners from two different contests. The very first challenge they do on the Discord is in the style of Exit Valley. They choose 5 winners for this, and it's a $5,000 prize pool, $1,000 for each winner, and they get IMDb credit and royalties to the episode if they end up making it, according to the Discord. You get fucking $1,000 in royalties. And this was one of the winners of that contest. This is a product, created by AI worth $1,000. I'll just play it start to fucking finish, man.
Ever since the humans decided GOAT meant greatest of all time, my life's been in an identity crisis. Here I am, a respectable farm goat reduced to an acronym. I mean, really, did they run out of words or something? I hear them say it all day. That singer is the GOAT. This phone is the GOAT. What happened to using ordinary words like excellent or splendid? Instead, they take my identity and attach it to just about anything. I get it. You want flattery, but appropriating livestock language? If they're going to keep doing this, what's next? Changing cow to coolest of the world? I still get overlooked on the farm. They only care about Instagram.
Okay, this is like, I said I'd play it start to finish. The humor here is beyond boomer humor. This is like the lost generation humor, man. This is so fucking bad. This is some goddamn 1890s humor. Let's continue.
And they talk so fast, goodness, just slow down maybe. I hear slay and think the poor fox is behind all this. But hey, at least I'm not a millennial having to be on fleek every day. Just the other day, a kid said YOLO, and I thought, is this a new brand of hay? They even have a term for fear of missing out, FOMO. Whatever happened to enjoying a good fence
What does that
jump?
mean?
But alas, I'm just a goat, pondering things I'll never understand. Meanwhile, the rooster's crowing about some meme and the pigs discuss blockchain. I can't even get a single like.
Come on.
Life here overshadowed by a smartphone screen.
I can't even
It's a
get
wonder
like.
they haven't put Wi-Fi in the barn yet. But if I must be a goat, perhaps it's time for a comeback. Goats unite. The real revolution's not in pixels, but in hooves. They just don't know it yet.
What? That's not a punchline. God damn, this is so bad. I'd like to, point out the AI. Everything here is AI generated, of course. Why the fuck wouldn't it be? But like, just the random pixel garbage, the fucked up sheep with however many legs, and like, notably this guy. I mean, maybe it's 2 sheeps, but even if it is, this guy's got some fucked up scoliosis. Yeah, this won $1,000 for typing a prompt into Discord. The humor there, if it was crafted by a human, bums me out. But like, it had to just be like a prompt into ChatGPT. Give me a funny joke. And you can't say funny in there. You just give me a joke. Give me a comedic script about a farm goat who finds out about the word goat acronym. This is not fucking funny. So that won $1,000, but I don't think it's getting any royalties because you can't make that into a show or even an episode of a show. The reason I've been harping on the $1,000 prize pool is because that has not been offered since the first competition, which, whatever, first competition, big competition, you do a bit extra. But for all the competitions afterwards, nowhere near $5,000 prize pool. It's a $50 credit card for one person. And no royalties offered, of course. No fucking. Why would you do that, like, in the first place? So, what do you got to say when the founders, the people that run this app, so to speak, they have that little faith in the products that are being produced? Like, yeah, it's worth a fucking $50 gift card. I can't believe we paid $5,000 for this. So this is a production from another one of those contests. This is the breaking news contest. There's really not much more to it than that. Bonus points for chaos, confidence, and deeply unserious journalism. Let's watch a little bit of this.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Portals have once again opened near the old vending machine room, releasing what officials are calling a species of intelligent fog.
The fog is reportedly friendly, but emotionally distant. One witness claims it hovered near them for 10 minutes, then muttered, "whatever," and left.
City authorities urge citizens to remain calm, avoid provocative thoughts, and for the love of bureaucracy, do not flirt with the fog.
Which is
So I like that this fucking AI news anchor is going and also every time we cut to Newt here, we do a weird fucking Dutch angle, and I have no idea what that's about.
Because I think the fog was making eyes at me.
It doesn't have eyes, Newt.
Not with that attitude.
So
experts describe the fog
so
as
unfunny,
non-solid.
man. Yeah, I don't want to sit through any more of this, frankly. But what's notable here is just no sense of composition beyond the sense of no comedy. Like, you cannot do they cannot do fucking news like the most simple one shot, like throw up a fucking visual maybe, but you don't need these fucking Dutch angles and all these discordant shots. It's the most simple shit, and this software cannot reproduce it for the life of it. And that's all the content that I can put up with from Showrunner. It's so fucking bad. The one positive thing about that is that it gives me faith that this will just be like, some stupid AI fad, like NFTs or whatever. A few thousand people get really hyped up about it, but it just fades into complete obscurity. Given what we've seen so far, I have pretty good faith that this is what this could be. But, humor me a little. Amazon's putting funding into this. In a write-up by Saatchi and some other developers of Showrunner that I didn't read, they talk about how they want this to be like the Netflix of AI. Like this is the future of entertainment. They want to do live action work. They just don't because the processing power. They have legitimate aspirations that this could be more. Uh, and with enough Amazon money, why can't it be a fixture of the Amazon Prime subscription service? You finish whatever slop content they have. I can't even think of a show from Amazon Prime specifically. You go on to watch an episode of the new season of The Boys on Amazon, and every ad you see will be like, whoa, That was an epic episode of The Boys. But what if we could personalize it? And then you get a little clip of the last scene you saw, but they've used generative AI to, put your most recent Amazon purchase into Homelander's hands. He crushes, some liberal's head with a fucking vacuum cleaner you just bought on Amazon Prime. Or maybe using Amazon's infinite data repository, they just upload a deep fake of you. You're the one getting fucking crushed by Homelander. And you're like, oh, well, shit, I guess I gotta pay extra for Amazon Prime AI so that I can be in The Boys. That'd be pretty fucking funny. Or maybe like a few months later, you go into fucking Amazon Prime. You gotta watch The Sopranos, which is now only on Amazon instead of HBO for some fucking reason. But oops, you forgot to turn off the automatic settings for the Amazon AI filter, which updates and replaces all the product placement Amazon brand. And, maybe they update the content to be a little more agreeable with the Amazon brand. So now you're watching Amazon's Pine Barrens, where Polly and Christopher are never even lost in the woods. They call Tony immediately, and because the widespread proliferation of Amazon 5G trademarked, they have no connection issues. Tony immediately comes to pick them up because, after all, this is Amazon's Tony. He's less toxic, more sympathetic. They go to a hot bar at a Whole Foods to eat, and they run into the Russian guy. They pick him up, take him to an Amazon sponsored migrant detention camp, and Tony offhandedly remarks about how much more ethical this is than killing him in the woods. Polly and Christopher laugh. Fen. I know it's hard to imagine that future, but look at the other places you've seen AI in the future. I mean, AI is not incapable of recreating photorealistic content. I wouldn't say by any means that it's capable of creating content that is cinematic. It just doesn't really have a grasp of the cinematic language. But I don't think that's something that's outside the realm of reality to teach the generative AI. I think that's something that's possible with enough funding. And it disturbs me to see. I mean, it's gonna be a shame if the future of media is literally just AI generated Amazon content. That's a fucking nightmare. But given what we've seen today, Showrunner is probably not that future. Showrunner is, I mean, it's hardly worth mocking. It's just so repugnant to look at. If there's any one thing to note about it, there are people using it. I joined there at a little under 25,000 people subscribed, and that's yesterday or 2 days ago I joined. Today they're at 35,000. So it's a growing community. 35,000 is not insanely big, but that's not small either. The 35,000 people actively creating this content. You go on the Discord every few seconds, even late into the night, or not, maybe not seconds late into the night, but every few minutes, people are producing a new AI generated show, so to speak. Most of them are scenes, but these can be 22-minute long episodes of Exit Valley and shit. And I don't know what that speaks to beyond a niche community that loves wasting energy. Oh my god, all the resources wasted producing episodes of Exit Valley is just abhorrent. I considered making one for this episode because that would be silly, but I don't think it's ethically worth it. Yeah, just a bummer to think about all the people creating this slop to watch it once, maybe halfway through because they're like, wow, this really fucking sucks. You know, God, rip our fucking environment. On that note, that's Showrunner, and that's the news of the week. This has been another episode of the Speakin podcast. I really appreciate you being here, especially if you're still here. I'd love it if you liked and subscribed and maybe even considered supporting our Patreon, especially in these trying times with Bill Bilson's monstrous diarrhea. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.